Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. If you've been watching my channel, then you know I have a love-hate relationship with Ghost Rider. I'm a massive fan of Ghost Rider, but I've been looking for ages for a decent bike. However, I found a really cool design on Thingiverse. So this was a Harley Davidson custom Fatboy. Printable files available for free. You can get them on Thingiverse. And I'm really pleased to say that it worked. This is by Argon_18. Do go and check him out and, of course, give him a follow. But this is the printed final product. Now, of course, I printed the wheels in silver and the tyres in like a transparent, like flame-coloured yellowy orange, and then painted the whole bike black. So I've not done any detailing on it yet, but as you can see, it really does look the part. Now, considering that the designer has uploaded this as a free design, it's a really good option for Ghost Rider. But how does he look? How does he fit on the bike? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. And of course, you can print the wheels out in black if you want. And you can actually swap these out. You could take the wheels off and swap them over. So you could go between the two different designs. It's a really nice model. It's really been sculpted well. Massive credit to the designer. However, it does come up a little bit small. So as you can see, here is the Ghost Rider, Marvel Legends Ghost Rider next to it, and it's obviously much too small. But if you are familiar with 3D printing, you know you can change the scale of things. So I just changed the scale slightly and made it a little bit bigger, and as you'll see at the end of the video, it definitely does the job. So just to show you how much bigger, I think it's about 20% bigger, but that's the rear wheel there. Obviously, it does take a bit of time printing wise, and of course, you do have to have a 3D printer. So these are all the pieces as they come off. As I said, the designer has done a really top job with this. So all of the bits fit together really nicely, and they all come off individually, as you can see. So you can put them all on the print bed and do them all in one if you've got a few hours to spare, or you can do them individually. And obviously, with the tires and the headlight, I just done them in a transparent kind of orange flame coloured. I can't remember the exact name of the filament that I used. And I used black for the rest of it, and then painted the wheels silver. So there we go, or chrome, should we say. So let's get to it. Now, I decided to do this video in real time just to give real props to the designer, Argon_18. The pieces are designed so well, they literally come off the bed and snap together. You do need to use a little bit of glue to put certain bits together. So, for example, the two sides of the wheel, you're going to want to glue those together just so they stay in place. You do have to glue various bits of the bike together as well. But it does all fit together, and it's all very articulated as well. So the handlebars move, the wheels go round, and the detailing is really good. Now, I'm no Harley Davidson expert, so I can't comment on the exact kind of specifications and measurements of stuff, but from my point of view, it looks like a very good replica of a Harley Davidson Fatboy. Now, I only know the Fatboy motorbike because of obviously Terminator 2, so I guess if you've got any NECA Terminators, this could also work really well if you went for a different colour scheme. As you can see here, the detailing and the sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. It's by far one of the best kind of free sculpts that I've come across, but do go and check him out. As you can see here, look, straight off the print bed, there's no filing, no sanding or anything. That is how they go together. They snap together really, really nicely. Now, of course, you do have to put some glue in, and I recommend putting that rear wheel in first just to avoid sort of snapping the chain or anything like that. But as you can see, the peg and hole are made for articulation in that wheel, so it does actually move. Let me just put a little bit of glue onto this so that we can put them together. But it's just, I mean, if you have a look through my channel, I've done a few videos on bikes for Ghost Rider, because Marvel Legends have given us a handful of really good Ghost Rider figures over the years, but the bike seemed to lack. We don't seem to be getting as many bikes as we do riders. Of course, we had the actual Riders series a while back. That bike kind of hit and miss. Some people really liked it, some people didn't. We've recently, of course, had the Denny Ketch bike, which I think is phenomenal. It really is a good piece if you're a Ghost Rider fan. And yeah, there's a couple of other companies out there that have done bikes. Also in my collection, I've also got the Ghost Rider bike from the Nicolas Cage film as well. But I just wanted a decent bike for my Johnny figure. Now, it's a tough one because previous to this, or prior to this, sorry, I was using the Riders Punisher bike by Marvel Legends. But the problem with those bikes is that the bike in itself, the actual sculpt of the bike in itself, were all the same. They were just done in slightly different color schemes. And the reason I used the Punisher bike is because it had those high handlebars, which I thought was really cool when it was all in matte black. But the problem being is that the wheels were then black as well, and you kind of lost that cool kind of flame effect wheel. So being able to 3D print one and do my own one this way was a absolute no-brainer for me. I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll see something extra that I sculpted to go alongside this bike. You can see here, as I said, I'm doing this all in real time, so there's no sort of tricks taking place off camera. It's all, what you can see is how the model goes together. Now, the seat and everything, they all have their place to fit, and there's a whole bunch of image references on the downloadable file as well on Thingiverse. I will put a link to the sculptor in the description of this video, so do go and check them out because they've done some really cool sculpts. Really nice thing as well that I didn't notice until I'd printed it was that the handlebars have articulation. So there's the bars go through there and they move left to right, so you can get them into whatever pose you want to get them into. You've then got to glue the headlight on. It's just a really nice model. Now, to be totally honest, if this was provided as a Ghost Rider bike, I probably wouldn't have any qualms in buying this alongside an actual Ghost Rider. I mean, it's that good of a sculpt. Now, of course, with 3D printing, you have to, of course, have the facility to 3D print. And yeah, so that could, of course, be a costly thing if you haven't got a 3D printer yourself. But yeah, I'm just using a little bit of super glue, putting it all together. And even now, without doing any more painting on the actual bike, you can see that it's going to look pretty cool. Just put these handlebars on here. Now, of course, if you are gluing it, just be careful not to get any on the mechanism there so that you don't kind of stick it in place, because having that articulation is definitely a added bonus. There are a handful of different bike sculpts that you can download and purchase and all the rest of it, but to have one that's fully articulated like this is a real gem, in my opinion. As I said, I've done previous bike comparison videos over on my YouTube. I've looked at a handful of different bikes, from WWE bikes to model kits to, of course, the official Marvel Legends one. And I really wish I had this one to compare, because I think this one would come out on top of all of them. Added to the fact that it's an accurate replica of a Harley Davidson, which is very cool indeed. Because, of course, the parts are all individual, you can print them out in individual colours. If you've got a single colour printer, you can do the wheels, you can do the rims, you can do the bike. If you really wanted to, you could have a different colour tank on top and all the rest of it. I was thinking of kind of experimenting a little bit and doing a few more bits in this kind of transparent orange, but I was just very eager to get it done, so I did most of it in black, but knew I wanted to give the wheels, the tyres, that translucent orange look, because that's how they were on the Marvel Legends figure, and it did look very cool. It's just a really good sculpt. I don't know how many times I can say that in this video. And not that hard to put together as well. If you're not used to doing model kits, it's really not that difficult at all, to be perfectly honest with you. It's all quite straightforward. And as I said at the beginning, I think the real benefit of this particular sculpt is that it comes off the print bed ready to go. There's no sanding, there's no kind of matching up. As long as if you're gonna increase the scale, like I did, like I said, I think it was about 20% I increased it, but if you are going to increase the scale, then of course make sure you do all of the parts, like all of the individual files, because otherwise you'll have a tank that's too small. And as you can see from the original one that I got out at the beginning, that's quite a bit smaller. Now, I would recommend, if you're not going to be swapping the wheels around, I would recommend adding a little bit of glue inside. Now, I'm not going to print out black wheels for this. I'm going to keep the translucent ones. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue inside there just to keep the tyres in place on the wheels. A little bit of super glue. I'm not going to show off any brands or anything. I'm not going to endorse any particular type of super glue, but super glue, super glue. It's looking good. You got to admit, that does look good. And with the fork there, if you just kind of pull it out a little bit, the front wheel just pops into place and it's fully articulated. Now, it does come with a stand. You can print out a stand as well, which will allow the bike to kind of stand up, because without the stand, it's very wobbly, as you can see here. But if you get the actual figure, you can pose it with the figure on. So that's what I'm going to do just for the sake of this video. Let's just put that headlight on. I just did the headlight in orange just to add a little bit of colour before I put any paint on it. I was debating kind of doing a bit of dry brush chrome on the engine and stuff like that. I think I might still do that. But there is something very cool about the flat black look with the silver rims and the orange tyres. I do quite like that. But just to add a little bit of colour, a little bit of kind of extra fire, if you like, I made the headlight orange as well. So there we go. That's it. And I've done that in real time. That's not sped up. I've not cut any parts out at all. That is how long it took me to put it together after getting it off the print bed. As you can see, scaled up 20%. It's quite a bit bigger. But much more in scale with a 6-inch figure. So if you're looking at a NECA Terminator or a Marvel Legends Ghost Rider, you want to increase the scale of that model by about 20%. So without messing around too much, let's just put him in a really basic kind of riding pose. As you can see, he sits quite nicely on top of there. Handlebars fit inside his hand. The only thing that's annoying about this particular version of Ghost Rider is he's only got one grip in hand. Now, of course, that's because he didn't come with a bike, so it was just that one grip in the hand for his chain. But there you go. Look at that. And because it's 3D printed, it's not particularly heavy, so it can be held up just by using the foot of the figure there. That's just using one foot and letting the kind of bike lean into the figure. But as you can see, that just looks really spot on. Like the measurements, the sizing is almost spot on. I wouldn't want to go too much bigger, but I suppose you could if you wanted to, but I'm quite happy with that as a scale. There is a little bit more to do. I want to add a little bit more paint in particular areas, but it's just very cool. It's very cool indeed. So do check out the link in the description of this video, and of course go and support the creator and the sculptor of this particular bike. It is a phenomenal bike for your action figures. Let's just... Oh, I did almost forget this. Got a brake pad as well, a brake disc as well. So that goes on the front wheel. So I'm going to have to paint that chrome and put that in. I'm not sure which side it goes on though, left or the right. But either way, there's also that. But that, of course, has to be silver because it ties in with a wheel. So I'll do that at a later date. But yes, do check out the link in the description of this video. And, of course, go and support that sculptor, the creator. It's a phenomenal bike. And I love that big fat wheel of the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. So as promised, here's a little bit of extra I did. So I sculpted some flames and I cut out the diameters of the wheels so that I could use it as a display stand. So I've got translucent orange flames as well as this very awesome bike. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon.